Breaking news on Buckeyes Now this afternoon. Hope you're doing well. Alongside Tommy Zagorski, I'm Brendan Gulick. Good news for the Buckeyes. We like good breaking news. That's a good thing. Zach Harrison says on his social media account, Coach, that he's coming back for another season in 2022. I guess personally, I'm glad to see that he's coming back because I didn't really want the lasting image of Zach Harrison for me to be an injury in the Rose Bowl. That's never fun to kind of end your career that way. But I think this has bigger implications, too, for the defense in general, just having a guy with that kind of experience and leadership coming back with a new defensive coordinator.
Absolutely. You know, Brendan, the first thing that you love to see is Jim Knowles showing he can recruit. He recruits the biggest important recruit for him right now. And who is that guy? That's Zach Harrison. You know, he walks in the door, he sees a 6'6", 270-pound defensive end, licking his chops probably, because Jim Knowles didn't have anybody look like that at Oklahoma State. So, you know, he's really excited about getting him back on board. And I think the other thing you look at with Zach is Zach's a hometown kid. He's a Columbus kid, went to great, you know, his Owen Tangy Orange, Zeb Schroeder there did a phenomenal job developing him. And he needs more development, though. He's going to need that Mariotti offseason. They're going to have to work. He's got great inflection on his ankles and his lower body. His upper body's got to get a little bit more limber. And what I mean by that, you're going to hope to see a little bit more bend out of him. And they're going to work that all offseason. And then another year under Larry Johnson. And, you know, there's a lot of changes on the defense. Larry's, as we all know, could be coming back. Who knows? There could be breaking news later today. I hope not. He's one of the great people in this profession. It has done a tremendous job of developing great defensive linemen. Another year of development for him in the system, in the program. It's going to be really important for him to also up his draft stock. You know, going into the season, probably was a first-round draft pick. You know, right now I've seen as high as third round, kind of where he's at. You know, and then like you said, Brendan, the injury in the Rose Bowl game, don't let that be your lasting image. Don't let that be the last time you take that number 9 scarlet and gray jersey and put it in the hamper for the last time as a Buckeye. You got an opportunity to hoist another trophy that maybe gets looked at in a higher light, coming back with a very, very talented Buckeye group in 2022.
And I think there were moments early in the year, I remember, you know, you and I kind of talking about this the first couple games of the season where, you know, he and Tyreek Smith in particular, Javonte Jean-Baptiste, I mean, we thought they played okay, but they certainly didn't start the year with that same eye-popping, eyebrow-raising, you know, standard that we're used to seeing from Ohio State defensive ends. I think they flashed that at times as the season went along, but I beyond the injury or just the final, you know, the final lasting image of him walking off the field, you know, getting hurt in the Rose Bowl, I think it's good for his development to come back, because if he wants to have a long, productive NFL career, I think another season of college football could really be good for him.
Yeah, that's why you go play college football. That's why when you're in the recruiting process, you know, and I think Zach publicly said this, he wanted to meet Jim Knowles. He wanted to see where he fits in the defense. He wanted to see what he could do. He's also a captain. He's a captain of these Buckeyes, so he's got the respect of everybody in the locker room. He's a guy going forward that they're going to lean on to continue that positive momentum for the end of the season with the big Rose Bowl win and really kind of building back that supremacy as Ohio State is one of the most elite programs in the country. And Zach also, I think, alluded to this publicly. I want to give credit. I think the Dispatch may have written this and other people had noted it. He said, I still have unfinished business here at Ohio State. And when a player says that, it gets you excited as a coach. It gets you excited as a man that's a developer, because why? You know, there's some kind of fire inside that young man that burns differently than the average person. You know, he could go right now, go in the third round and go, you know, play for, who knows, the Baltimore Ravens and go make, go make $900,000 next year. And, you know, would be great. But coming back, having that experience, the margin of utility, I hate to use the economics term, but the margin of utility of being a Buckeye for one more year, and really continuing to grow, watching that happen. There's no doubt he's going to play in the National Football League, but he'd like to come in with probably a little bit higher of a salary, being that first-round draft pick that really Ohio State's accustomed to turning out year in and year out. And I think he's got a lot of that makeup and just that extra year. I mean, he's only 20 years old. I mean, think about that. Right. He can't buy a beer legally in the state of Ohio. Yeah. And the guy's going to come back and have another opportunity to really grow, really develop under Larry Johnson. And with Jim Knowles, to see what he does with him, to kind of allow him to to see that next step, play with better linebackers, with the Tommy Eichenberg a better year, Steele Chambers, Diamante Trainum, the D tackles having another year of growth and development. It could be a scary looking defense in Columbus.
Yeah, really glad to see that Zach Harrison's back. Hey, one more quickie since we've got a whole bunch of comments that have come in. Did have one question specifically asked to you. Somebody wants to know if you've ever met Justin Fry and what you think about Ohio State's new offensive line coach.
Personally, I do not know Justin. I know people that know Justin. They speak very highly of him. He's a high energy guy, very intelligent coach. Anytime you see an offensive line coach that has a coordinator next to him, they're usually kind of that next step, because a lot of times offensive line coaches get thrown in a corner and they're just guys that you think could just coach the offensive line. For him to have that coordinator title, I think there's something special about it. And I'm really looking forward to see what he does developing these young men going forward, and what he can do for those guys up front.
All right. We'll let you get back on the go. It's an on-the-go kind of Friday afternoon. Thanks for stopping in. Great news for the Buckeyes. Zach Harrison returning for the 2022 season.